I'm working on a slide potentiometer volume mod for my Arcade1Up cabinet. So my goal here is to use one of these to control the volume so it'll go up and down. And you can connect stranded 18 gauge wire directly on here, glue it. You can solder it. I've plugged in a JST connector connecting these two, so these are very easy to connect to, and they do work with Arcade1Up cabinets. So there's normally a little plate that holds, the switch or the volume switch right here. So I needed to come up with a solution for that. And this was my first solution. It was just a little 3D printed one. I had corners on there I had to cut off because it didn't fit. And I made a sloppy mess right here with the glue gun. But I was able to put it in there. It did work. Volume went up and down. Everything worked out fine. But I didn't like how it fit. So I ended up trying out something like this. This was good. It just didn't hold the potentiometer in very well. So the last design I came up with was this. It's got a little slot right here, and now you'll see the potentiometer slips in pretty good right there. You can kind of grab the tip ends, and you see it sits nice and flush. And then once it's in there, it doesn't really move around even when you're moving the volume. So the next thing you have to do is get this hat to fit, and you see I 3D printed a little, something to fit in there. I was able to get it to slide over here, and there you go. You can see it kind of goes back and forth. So one of the issues I've had getting this to work is, you see when this slides back and forth, it doesn't, because of the screws and because of the hole in the actual cabinet, it doesn't go all the way up and all the way down. You see, go all the way this way, there's still a little bit left, and go all the way this way, and there's still a little bit left. I don't remember, I think this is a 1K potentiometer. So when I was using it, when I go up, it doesn't go all the way up, but it's very loud. And then when I go about halfway or less, it drops off really fast. So what I tried to do is kind of print this template so it's a little bit offset, so then it would be able to go a little bit more on the high side and less on the low side for when it drops off. So then once the hat's in there, even though it won't go all the way back and forth, it'll at least go on the loud side a little bit more. And if you got your sides messed up, you could always pop this out, turn it in, or you could swap, I think, your connectors. I forgot how to get it, but that's kind of one of the downsides of it, but it still ends up working really good. Another downside I've came across is this little wobble. The connector got a little bit of a dimple right there, and the connector I printed out is just square, but I didn't run into any issues with that. Those are the only two issues I've came across. Other than that, the mod works good. To connect up the potentiometer, you're going to need to connect the positive to the middle. And I don't remember if the negative goes on either side. If you get it wrong, you'll have to swap it out, but I know the positive goes in the middle and the negative goes on the side. Now, when I was first testing this out, I was able to just use this 18 gauge stranded wire, and I was able to just go ahead and slide it in there. Let's see. And that made a good enough connection. I was able to get volume from that. So if you just get some 18 gauge stranded wire, push it in there, that'll work. Let's see. There you go. Another way I was able to connect it is I made this little JST connector. you're able to make these connections. If you put it, get a 3 connector and use the 2 outer ones, you should be able to make a good connection. So, there you go. There you go. Alright, so here's the potentiometer set up in the cabinet. I just have everything loosely wired up just to get it going. You see, this is a positive wire from the speaker. It's going into the middle connector of the potentiometer, and then from one of the outside connectors of the potentiometer, that's going to go all the way out, and it's going to go to the top pin of my board up there. There's 4 pins. I'm using the top 2. The top is your positive, and the middle is the negative. 2 middle ones are negative on this board, and then the 2 outer ones are positive. So positive is going there, then our negative is going all the way back. You see I just have it loosely connected to the negative of the speaker. I don't have anything soldered, everything's just twisted, even my power wires are twisted. So we're going to give it a go, see how it works. Alright, I have everything plugged in. I'm going to turn on the power, see if we get game going. There's power going to it. Now we have to hit the power switch. Now this power switch is oriented the same way it would be on the front of the cabinet. So just imagine it sitting upright like that. Same for the volume, up, down. Alright, Street Fighter is booting up. We already have sound. Now that we have the volume working, maybe we want to lower the low so it's a little bit, so we could actually use our LCD board's control to lower the volume to see how low we want our low or how high we want our high. We could kind of adjust the volume there. So maybe we don't want it too loud. Or maybe we want it super loud. We can adjust it that way.